Hello everyone. Wishing you all a joyful Lunar New Year, a year filled with success, prosperity, and abundant luck. The greeting was bright, almost ceremonial. But beneath the festive well wishes lay a story shadowed by doubt, a story that threatened to tear apart a love neither James nor Diep had ever questioned. It began with a rumor. Or perhaps it was more than a rumor, perhaps it was a truth waiting to surface. Ms. Diep had been pregnant before her wedding. That much was known. What remained uncertain was the identity of the father. James's father had long harbored suspicions, quiet at first, then growing heavier with time, that Diep might be his biological daughter. And if that were true, if Diep was his daughter, then what did that make James, a father's suspicion? I don't believe it, James had insisted. He had searched Diep's face countless times, the curve of her cheek, the slope of her nose, the way her brows knit when she worried. He saw no resemblance to his father. No familiar expression, no inherited trait. She doesn't look like you, he argued. And I don't look like her, but his father remained firm. Ms. Diep had given birth during the years following his first wife's passing. There were gaps in the past, unspoken details. 2 children, investigations quietly conducted, timelines that refused to align neatly. Don't let love blind you, his father warned, but how could it not? James and Diep had built their relationship on trust, tenderness, and shared struggle. They had known each other long before whispers of bloodlines entered the conversation. They had loved without hesitation. To suddenly be told that their love might be forbidden by biology, that it might transform overnight into something unspeakable, was unthinkable. You're trying to separate us, James accused his father. Tell me the truth. Is this just your way of tearing us apart? His father offered only one solution, a paternity test. If you don't believe me, test it, he said. The words hung in the air like a sentence awaiting judgment, the weight of the unspeakable. Later, in the quiet refuge of home, James sat across from his mother. She noticed the change immediately, the heaviness in his posture, the absence of his usual composure. Is it Diep? She asked gently. He tried to dismiss it as work stress. The company. The upcoming Lunar New Year. Endless responsibilities. But a mother sees what others miss. It's about Diep, isn't it? He hesitated. Even speaking the fear aloud felt dangerous, as though naming it might give it power. Finally, he confessed. His father suspected that Diep was his biological daughter. The room seemed to contract around them. His mother listened quietly. She had noticed her husband pacing lately, restless, distracted. Yet he had never mentioned such suspicions before. The timing felt strange, abrupt. Still, the doubt was there. You should take a blood sample, she suggested cautiously. If it's true, then we face it. If it's not, you'll have peace, but peace required courage. And courage was something James suddenly lacked. Every time the test is mentioned, he admitted, I feel terrified. He had faced business failures, financial risk, his father's anger, none of it had shaken him. Yet the thought of that test made his hands tremble. What if, he whispered, the person I love most in this world becomes my sister? The words were unbearable. They had not told Diep. How could they? If the test proved the suspicion correct, their love would end instantly. There would be no negotiation, no compromise. Only acceptance, cold and final. I'll keep it a secret, his mother promised. Until we know, but James remained paralyzed. I have to be strong, he said. I'm a man. I can't let this drag on forever, yet strength felt distant. Abstract, he asked the question neither of them wanted answered. If we are siblings, then we can't be together. We'll have to accept it. His mother nodded, though her heart ached for him. Give me time, he pleaded. Work as distraction. The next day, James buried himself in paperwork. Factory expansion files, usable space calculations, stamps from local authorities. Deadlines before TET. On paper, everything looked orderly, but beneath the administrative language lay another anxiety, responsibility. Officials reminded him about fire safety compliance, extinguishers, water hoses, electrical risk assessments. Your machinery is prone to fire, they warned. We won't allow operations to resume until everything is secure. Environmental standards followed. Wastewater must not flow into rivers. Emissions required inspection. Smoke output had to be controlled. James nodded, took notes, promised upgrades. In business, problems had procedures. In love, there were none. A year of waiting. It's been a year, someone remarked quietly one evening. A year of uncertainty. A year of loving under a cloud of doubt. Yet life, indifferent to human turmoil, continued its gentle rhythm. NHI returned home laughing after visiting Grandma Huyen. The kitchen filled with the scent of coconut jam in preparation, shredded coconut soaking in sugar until it glistened translucent. Diep stood at the stove, sleeves rolled up, experimenting with colors drawn from nature. Green from crushed pandan leaves, golden yellow from turmeric, deep red violet from perilla. It was her first time making coconut jam. I don't know if it will turn out well, she admitted shyly. But she smiled as she worked, unaware of the storm circling quietly above her. James watched her. How could something so warm, so ordinary, cabbage being chopped, chayote nearly wilting, pork sizzling with garlic, coexist with such devastating uncertainty? She prepared fewer dishes that evening. Only 3 people would eat, 3 people, and a secret. Dinner at the edge of truth. The meal was simple but abundant, stir-fried chayote with garlic. Pork with onions and bamboo shoots, boiled vegetables, steamed rice. They sat close together. They prayed before eating, gratitude for spiritual awakening, cleansing of impurities. James tasted the bamboo shoots. Delicious, he said honestly. Diep laughed when praised. NHI rated the dishes playfully. There was teasing about who cooked better, Uncle James or Aunt Diep. Normalcy. Almost painfully normal. Tell me honestly, someone joked. Is the food edible? Yes, came the answer. It's edible. They laughed, but beneath the laughter lay the unspoken question that could shatter everything. If love becomes blood, what remains? On the verge, James knew he could not postpone the truth forever. The test would happen, and when it did, their lives would pivot, toward relief or toward irreversible separation. For now, they shared rice from the same pot. For now, they smiled across the same table. For now, Diep remained unaware that her identity, and their future, rested on a fragile strand of possibility. The Lunar New Year approached. A time for renewal. A time for truth, and perhaps, a time for heartbreak.